In the vast expanse of the Arizona frontier, where the sun blazed mercilessly over parched earth, and the wind carried the whispers of old legends, there lived a man most townsfolk knew simply as Caleb Holt, a poor rancher whose small herd of cattle barely kept him fed. Caleb's homestead was a crooked wooden shack at the edge of the wilderness, the kind of place travelers passed without a glance. Yet Caleb loved it dearly, because it was the land his late father had tilled with blistered hands. Every morning Caleb woke before dawn, his only companions a faithful horse named Dusty and an old hound who limped from too many scrapes with coyotes. He was no stranger to hardship. He had known hunger, loneliness, and the cruel sting of debt, but he had also learned that sometimes the land gave back if you treated it with respect. One fateful evening, while tending to his cattle near a rocky gorge, Caleb heard a sound that made him freeze in place. Voices, high-pitched with fear, echoing faintly through the canyon walls. At first he thought it was coyotes fighting, but then came a desperate cry in a tongue he barely understood. Curiosity and instinct drove him forward. As he dismounted and scrambled over boulders, he discovered something that stopped his breath. Two towering young women, unlike any he had ever seen, trapped beneath a pile of collapsed stone near the gorge. They were not ordinary women. They were giant sisters of the Apache people, each easily twice the height of any man, their long raven-black hair tangled with dust, their bronze skins streaked with blood. Their eyes, though clouded with pain, held a fiery strength. Caleb realized at once that a rockslide had crushed them while they were traveling the ridge. For a moment he hesitated, for he had heard tales of Apache, giants, beings who could bend trees and outrun horses, who belonged to an ancient tribe rarely seen by settlers. Helping them could mean danger, for their people were known to be fiercely protective. But when one sister groaned and reached weakly toward him, whispering words that sounded like a plea, Caleb felt the decision burn into his chest. Without hesitation, he set to work. Hours passed as he strained his muscles, levering boulders with branches, digging with his bare hands until his fingernails split. Dusty the horse neighed nervously as shadows grew long, but Caleb refused to stop. Sweat poured into his eyes, his back screamed in protest. Yet at last he freed the first sister's legs and then the second's arm. With a final heave, he pulled away the last stone, and both women collapsed free, gasping like wounded deer. Caleb offered water from his canteen, tilting it carefully to their lips, and they drank with gratitude shining in their eyes. Though their language was foreign, they managed to murmur thanks, bowing their heads slightly in a gesture that transcended words. As night fell, Caleb guided them to a sheltered alcove near his ranch.